welcome back to Silver Age Sleuthing, the show where we take a look at the early days of the Marvel Universe and find tidbits of trivia about our favorite heroes. Hank Pym returns this week in Tales to Astonish, number 35, and he is wearing a silly outfit. So how did this agitated scientist from a one-shot horror story become a superhero? Well, it seems that after his terrifying trip to the anthill and destroying his shrinking serum because it was too dangerous for mankind, Hank Pym immediately turned around, made a new formula, and for good measure, built himself a helmet that lets him talk to ants. Behind the scenes, according to Kurt Busiek, it seems that Tales to Astonish number 27 saw a nice jump in sales, and Marvel's publisher at the time, Martin Goodman, apparently liked the character a lot and wanted to see a series made out of him. In addition, Tom Brevoort suggests that at one point a sequel story was designed to just be another science fiction tale, but superheroes were the new hotness at the time, so Pym traded the lab coat in for a hero costume. Back on the page, it should be noted that at this point, Pym is still shrinking and growing by literally splashing the serum on himself or bathing in it later, which raises a whole lot of questions about distribution that probably will never be answered. Of course, a goofy helmet and dangerous serum do not a superhero make. He also has communists to fight. The inciting incident drawing Pym into costume heroics is naturally commie spies capturing him to get his anti-radiation formula. But speaking of radiation formulas, that's something Bruce Banner could probably use right now over in Incredible Hulk number 3. It turns out the Illuminati weren't the first ones to think of shooting the Hulk into space to get rid of him. General Ross tricks Rick Jones into luring the Hulk onto a rocket, and it doesn't really work out like he hopes. Banner gets zapped with another round of radiation and crashes back to Earth, bigger, stronger, and no longer restrained by the nightly transformation cycle. Also, Rick Jones now has complete mental control over the Hulk because radiation. At least Jones has control over the Hulk while he's awake. When he goes to sleep, the Hulk goes smashing, so good luck with that, Rick. Rick isn't the only one doing some mind control either. Here we have the first appearance of the Ringmaster, and this marks the first time that the Hulk is really the one to save the day. When the Ringmaster gains a grip over Rick's mind, Rick loses his grip on the Hulk, which doesn't end well for the Ringmaster. Meanwhile, over in Journey into Mystery number 84, Don Blake is back home, but he doesn't stick around for long, deciding to volunteer his services to help out the citizens of war-torn San Diablo. Going with him on this adventure is the nurse from his medical practice, Jane Nelson? Yes, Jane Nelson, not Jane Foster. At least not yet. Whatever her name is though, these two are completely stupid for each other, but typical of comic book romances, neither one is willing to make the first move. Of course, things get more complicated when Thor shows up on the scene. Get ready for a lot of issues that end with Jane wishing that Dr. Blake could be more brave and bold like that mighty Thor fella. Not that Blake should have a secret identity. A Norse god showing up in Norway while Blake is there on vacation is one thing. A Norse god then showing up on the other side of the planet where Blake is also present, those are pieces that even General Ross should be able to put together. At least the Fantastic Four don't have to worry about secret identities anymore. As of issue number 6, the secret appears to be out. Not only does the Baxter Building finally get its name, but the Fantastic Four are already having their mail delivered there. I guess that's what happens when Dr. Doom throws a giant net over the tower. This issue gives us another close look at the top floors of the Baxter Building, and yes, they still have the Intercontinental Missile tucked away in the corner. Meanwhile, in another famous first, Reed Richards stretches across the street to a hospital to give some exposition to a sick kid, in this case revealing that their costumes are made of the miraculous unstable molecules. At the same time, we also get the first reference to the Yancey Street Gang, which seems to be the 1960s equivalent of internet trolls, sending harassing letters to the Thing through the mail. But while the Fantastic Four are enjoying their day, Namor is still on the loose, enjoying his day. Playing with the dolphins. I guess he got over that destroy humanity phase pretty quick. Never fear though, Dr. Doom is here to agitate him into the first villainous team-up. Their masterful evil plot, defeating the Fantastic Four with the power of magnets, with a diabolical strategy of walking into their basement and planting a device. And it seems that magnets aren't the only thing doing the attracting. After planting Doom's device in the basement, Namor decides to stroll right into Reed Richards' living room and start making googly eyes at Sue. And she's kind of into it. Sue, what are you doing? You have a fiancé! You know, Reed Richards gets a lot of crap about being dispassionate, but geez, you gotta give him credit for keeping his calm while people declare their love for his girl right in front of him. As for Sue, I have a theory about her attraction that she's actually been nursing a crush on Namor since before he ever even resurfaced. After all, Namor may have fought in World War II, but he stayed active through the mid-50s. If Sue's in her early 20s in 1961, that means there's a good shot she went through her formative years during Namor's prime. Remember, it was Johnny that said Sue used to talk about Namor's old comic books. It doesn't take a huge leap to see a teenage Sue Storm crushing hard on the mysterious prince that's built like a god and fights evil in nothing but swimming trunks. How many people actually get to meet their high school celebrity crushes, even if they turn out to be occasionally genocidal maniacs? Anyway, whether his intentions are pure or if he's just thinking with his little dolphin, Namor is stuck with the Four as Doom uses the magnet in the basement to literally pull the Baxter building into space. And you know that means some dead people. Oh sure, Johnny says it's the end of the workday, but you can't expect me to believe that the building just completely shut down at 5 o'clock. There's doubtlessly some janitor or some office worker staying late and, space happens. The Four aren't doing much better either, leaving it up to Namor to save the day with a rarely mentioned power. It turns out he can absorb and redirect electricity because eels. Things go poorly for Doom after that, and he ends up riding a piece of meteor out into space, but I'm sure he'll be back. So, how do you think Doom is gonna get out of this one? Magic? Science? Doombot? Give me your best guess in the comments. As always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on next week's episode. Things are gonna get weird for Thor as we meet a villain burdened with glorious purpose.